What's up, family? Man, I want to have real heart to heart with you guys today. Um, this is rough. You know what I mean? This is rough. Um, Thinking about story in the Bible earlier, and I was just thinking about life and just all the things that we go through. And God brought this story back to me about Noah in the Bible. And again, God told Noah to build this ark, said it was going to flood. And so Noah and his family, his sons and his wife, were building this ark for decades. I want to say like almost 100 years, 120 years before it finally rained. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. And so, but the part of the story I want to talk about is the fact that, man, Noah had to bring all of these animals onto this boat, two of each kind. And I want you to think about that for a second. Here it is, Noah and his family, they're in this boat, being protected from the rain, being protected from the flood. They were protected from everything external. They were protected from everything outside of the boat, the ark, if you will. But there's something about that God was just dealing with me earlier on, and it just kind of hit me, got me really thinking about some stuff. I want you to try to imagine all the people that was sitting there laughing and teasing Moses. Not Moses, but Noah. I want you to think about all the people that joked at Noah's expense, the people that ridiculed Noah outside of the ark. And here it is, the rain's coming, the flood's coming, and all of these people are screaming and crying, trying to get Noah's attention. All of these people that was laughing at Noah, all these people that was clowning Noah, all these people that was making fun of Noah and his family for building this ark and saying that they were crazy. I want you to try to imagine all of those people now that the floods are coming, the scream, the agonizing cries and pleas of the mothers and fathers to save my kids. Don't worry about saying, I'll die, but spare my kids. I deserve to die, but let my kids on the boat with you. Don't let my kids die because of what I did. Don't let my kids pay the price for my ignorance. Take my kids with you. Can you imagine all of the people screaming and crying to Noah and his family to have mercy on them? Just a few days ago, they were laughing and talking about how crazy he was. Just a few days ago, they were talking about him and making the best jokes about how crazy and insane and how ridiculous he looked building this big boat. Because they never experienced rain. They had never even heard of rain before. It had never rained before. And so Noah said it's going to rain. And these people had no idea what he was talking about because nobody knew what rain was. And so they're laughing and teasing him. Now they're begging and screaming and crying and pleading with him to take their kids, to spare their kids. I want you to try to sit there and imagine Noah and his family hearing the pleas and the cries for mercy from these people that were showing them no mercy. They were going in on Noah and his family. They showed no mercy whatsoever. Now they want Noah to show them some mercy. I'm going somewhere, stay with me. It's crazy how when people think they have the upper hand, how hard they come at you, how much they try to attack you. And then when they come to the understanding that, man, God's really protecting you, when they come to the understanding that God really, truly has your back, and they realize how much they've messed up, and now the judgment hand of God is upon their life. Now they got to face the karma for all the things they've done against you. Now they got to face the karma for all the things that they said about you. Now they want you to have some mercy on them. Oh, we're going somewhere. I promise you, we're going somewhere. I want you to think about, here's Noah and his family. They're safe. They're protected in this ark. They're protected from the flood. They're protected from all the debris flying around and crashing around in the waves. They're protected from all of the people that would do them harm just to get on the boats. They've been protected from the floods. And so they're cooped up in this boat for 40 days. 40 nights is pouring down raining. But they have animals in that boat. Stay with me. They have 2 of every kind of animals in that boat. Can you imagine the stench? Because animals smell. Animals got a kind of a nasty smell to them, you know what I mean? Can you imagine the smell of every one of those animals? Those animals are going to the bathroom. Can you imagine the smell of all of those animals? Not just their natural body odor, but their urine and their feces. Can you imagine the noise and just the chaos of being safe in a boat? But you're not immune to the noise. You're not immune to the smell. Why am I talking about that? Because sometimes when God saves you, sometimes it doesn't look like you're being saved. Sometimes, I'm not talking about what Christian people talk about, man, I'm saved. I'm not talking about that foolish stuff. I'm talking about when God rescues you, when God is protecting you, when God is hiding you away and keeping you tucked away out of all the chaos and the craziness of life. Sometimes God is saving you and it don't feel like you're being saved. Sometimes God is protecting you and it don't feel like you're being protected. Sometimes God is looking out for you and it don't seem like you're being looked at, or God is looking out for you. Sometimes we want what we want and God's not giving it to us, and it don't look like God is looking out for us. Sometimes, God, we want this job, we want this car, we want this relationship, we want this house, we want this new move, we want whatever it is we want, and God is saying no, and God is rejecting that plea from us, and God has us over here isolated and kept away from everything we want. God has us over here in darkness, isolated all by ourselves. And it don't look like God is looking out for me. It don't feel like God's got my back. It don't feel like God is protecting. It don't feel like God is nurturing me. It don't feel like God is answering my prayers. It don't feel like God loves me because he got me over here by myself and I'm not getting no help. I'm not getting what I want. What I want to come to happen or come to fruition, it don't seem like it's happening. And God has said, I'm protecting you. I'm keeping you. I'm preserving you. It don't look like it. It don't smell like it. It don't sound like it. But I promise you, I see the future. I promise you, everything is always working out for you. I promise promise you, I'm looking out for your best interest. It may not feel like it right now. It may not seem like it right now, but I promise you, if you trust me, you'll see it unfold. I promise you, if you just hold on and trust the process, if you just wait and just be grateful for what you have and just sit there and thank me for keeping you right here in this place right now. I know it feels like you're isolated. I know it feels like you're abandoned and rejected and unwanted and unloved and but I promise you that's not reality. I promise you that's not the way it is. I know it looks like that. It sounds like that, but that's not how it really is. Sometimes when God is protecting you, it seems like he's cursing you. Sometimes when God is protecting you, it don't seem like it, because it seems like, man, I'm just stuck in the middle of this chaos. I'm stuck in the middle of this hell. Let's go back to the boat, to the ark. You got all these responsibilities. He's got to feed these animals for 40 days and longer, you know what I mean? Because they're on a boat for longer, but it's raining for 40 days and 40 nights. So they're responsible for keeping the animals. They're responsible for taking care of the animals. And the animals make noise. Birds make noise. Lions and coyotes and wolves make noise. So when you think about all of the different animals and they're not trying to make noise on purpose. They're not trying to fuck up Noah's, his mind. They're not trying to fuck up his peace. They're not trying to mess with his vibration. They're not trying to mess up his frequency. They're just communicating with each other. They're just doing what they naturally do. They're just making the same sounds that they've always made. And to know in his family, it has to sound nerve-wracking. To know in his family that can't go nowhere, that can't escape all of the noise, all of the funk, because it's completely closed up, because they don't want the water coming in. So it's closed up. And so, man, they're smelling all this nasty, toxic crap. And on top of the stench, man, they're hearing all of this fucking noise. And it's like, I can't get no peace. I can't get no break. I can't get a breakthrough no matter which way I turn, no matter which way I go. I'm stuck in the middle of this hell. And yet in the middle of that hell, in the middle of that chaos, he was being preserved. In the middle of that chaos, in the middle of all that noise and racket and funk and just, oh God, they're being preserved. God's looking after them. God's looking after Noah, his wife, his sons, and his daughter-in-laws. And Noah and his family, they're responsible to look after the animals. See, in the middle of all that hell, in the middle of all that chaos, he still had to look out for the animals. He still had to feed the animals. Sometimes God puts you in the middle of the hell. It seems like you're in the middle of the hell, but you're not. But it feels like that. It looks like that. You still got a job to do. You still have responsibilities. You still got to fulfill your purpose. You still got to do what God called you to do. You can't just sit there on your ass whining and crying and complaining about how bad it fucking stinks. Whining and crying and just cringing because of the noise. You still got to get up off your ass and do something. Even though God is protecting you, even though God is preserving you, even though God is looking out for you, you still got something to do. You're still responsible to get up and do something. So many of us, We want to be rescued and saved and da-da-da-da-da. But then we don't want to do anything. We don't think we have to do anything. We think we can just sit on our ass. I'm somebody special, and I need to be taken care of. I need to be pampered. I need to be, and we get all this shit we say and think. Like we ain't got no responsibility in all of the madness. And through the story God was showing me, I don't care how crazy it looks. I don't care how crazy it sounds. I don't care how crazy it feels. You had better get up off your ass and do what you're supposed to do. You want me looking out for you? You make sure you look after my animals. You want me to make sure that you come out of this okay? You make sure my animals come up out of here okay. I didn't put you in that place just for you. I didn't have you build that ark just for you. I got you in that ark with all the other animals. With all of the other animals. It's not about just you. It's about them too. See, the truth be told, each one of those animals in that boat is just as important as you are in this boat. Just because you built it don't mean you're far more important than they are. Because if I don't look after you, you ain't making it out of here. If God don't look after you, if God don't protect you and have mercy on you and show you grace, if God don't bring you through the hell you going through, you ain't coming up out of it. Do you see how that works? Are you understanding how this works, the dynamics of life? It's not just about you. Let's go back to the boat. Let's go back to the screams and the cries of the rest of humanity outside the boat. You're inside the boat. And you know everybody outside of the boat is gonna die. You're inside the boat. You're safe. You're protected. But you know the rest of your family, all your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your grandma, your grandpa, you know everybody else, your friends, everybody else is gonna die. Your brother-in-law, your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, your daddy-in-law, everybody else is going to die, except for y'all. The boys, Noah's sons, they had their mom and daddy on the boat with them. The daughters didn't have their daddy and mama on the boat with them. They didn't have their siblings on the boat with them. Can you imagine the pressure and the stress of sitting there knowing that you're being saved and protected, but your loved ones are dying? You're being protected, but there's nothing you could do for your mom and your daddy, your uncle and your auntie, your favorite cousin, your favorite road dog, your homie. You can't do a damn thing for them. And instead of trying to do something for them, you got to get out and take care of these animals. You got to take care of these animals. And your family's drowning. You got to take care of these animals. and your nephews and nieces or cousins and grandparents and family members are drowning. You can't imagine that type of stress. You can't imagine that type of pressure. I can't imagine that type of depression. I can't imagine that type of feeling of knowing everything around me is gonna die. When I come out, man, it's just us right here. Just us on this boat is gonna make it. Nobody else. We can't imagine that type of pressure. On top of the pressure of the stench, the pressure of trying to feed these animals, the pressure of the noise, and the boat being rocked back and forth. The people pounding on the side of the boat to be able to come in. Stuff beating up against the boat. And in the midst of that is your salvation. In the midst of all of that hell, in the midst of all that chaos, is your preservation. In the midst of your craziness, in the midst of your chaos, can you be grateful? It's one thing to know that, man, and I say this every day, man, thank you, God, because I realize everybody didn't see today. Everybody didn't wake up today. Everybody didn't live today, until today. You know what I mean? Everybody didn't see this new year. It's been a whole lot of people died this year so far. And so when I look at my life, it's like, dang, okay, God, thank you. Thank you allowed me to see another day. Thank you that, man, I understand. There's a lot of people that didn't make it this far. And yet you've allowed me to. But that's nothing compared to the fact of waking up knowing everybody outside of my little area is dead. They're all gone. Imagine being an animal lover and sitting there and understanding and knowing, man, all the other cats are gone. All the other dogs are gone. All the other birds are gone. All the other tigers and leopards and cheetahs and panthers, they're all gone. The hippos, the elephants, they're all gone. And yet, you understand, in the middle of all of that craziness, God is showing you mercy. In the middle of all of that pain and suffering, God is showing you mercy. It don't feel like mercy, but you know it's mercy. Sometimes when God saves us, when God is protecting us, it's gonna hurt. Sometimes when God protects you and God is saving you, you're gonna cry. You're gonna be broken. You're gonna feel all alone. But you have to understand, there's a reason for the madness. And gratitude has to kick in on that, man. They were laughing at us just a few days ago. Noah's daughter-in-laws, man, out of all the girls selected to marry their sons, that was like winning the lottery. The super, super mega lottery. Sometimes it's not going to look the way you want it to look. Sometimes life is not going to appear the way you want it to appear. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust that, man, okay, I got to lose some things. I got to let go of a lot of things. You ain't let go of more than what they let go of. They had to let go of all their family and friends. They had to let go of everything they knew and everything they understood. When they came off the boat, the land looked totally different. Everything that they knew before that was gone. And so they had to let all of that go. Sometimes it is in the letting go. It is in the losing of everything you know that God is blessing you with new opportunities. A greater experience. Man, you got to learn to let it go. Whatever it is that God has told you to let go, man, you got to let it go. And trust that He has better for you. Trust that He has new opportunities for you. And that's hard sometimes. Sometimes God will save you, and it'll look like He's punishing you. Sometimes God will save you, and it'll look like He's cursing you. It'll look like He's not hearing your prayers and your pleas. But He's already preserved you. He's preserving you. He's preparing you for something new. But you got to be willing to let go of the old.